Okay, we all struggle to establish and maintain a schedule, right? Most of us have main gigs, side gigs, and families to take care of. Others have entire businesses to run. And even if you're just putting all of your time into one job, you'll have to deal with a lot if you want to get ahead. Now, if you're trying to handle all of that without some kind of scheduling software, you're basically playing life on hard mode for no reason. That's why I'm going to break down my experiences with Bookly and Calendly. Two platforms that plenty of folks swear by. Only one of these can be the cream of the crop though, so stay tuned while I fill you in. I'm gonna start things off by talking about pricing. Okay, honestly, Calendly is far superior to practically anything else out there if we are looking at pricing alone. Like, you can get a full subscription with all the bells and whistles for a measly $10 a month. And in case that's not your bag, you can get the free version as well. There's also a free trial for the frugal-minded folks who want to see what they're buying before they dive into the deep end. So you really have all the options you could hope in regards to that. Bookly, on the other hand, takes a different approach. You'll have to pay $89 for the full version, and there's no trial period that allows you to test the waters. There's a free version though, which is great because some people just want a simple solution for all their scheduling needs. But they're still not quite at the same level as Calendly. But here's the thing, while Calendly charges you per user, Bookly charges a flat rate. This means that if you need Calendly access for 9 or more people, you won't see much of a price difference between these two platforms. In fact, you might even be able to save some money by opting for Bookly. Of course, individuals and smaller teams will still get a more affordable deal through Calendly. So these platforms are pretty evenly matched from where I'm sitting. Oh, and bear in mind that Bookly isn't charging you every month. You can provide a one-time payment and have your scheduling needs sorted for life, which will be super attractive to the budget-conscious crowd. There are some factors to consider, which I'll get into later, but if I focus on pricing for now, Bookly's single payment premium plan is well worth praising. I'm gonna give both of them a 4.5 out of 5. Calendly's decision to offer super cost-effective subscriptions is ideal for anyone that works solo or with a couple other people. But Bookly might be the right choice if you're running something large scale. So how do their features compare? Just for starters, we should acknowledge some fundamental differences between Calendly and Bookly. You see, Calendly has a dedicated app while Bookly is a WordPress plugin. You can add Bookly to your site for easy time management, but that's nowhere close to the level of control you get from a specialized app like Calendly. That should explain why Bookly is so much cheaper, by the way. After all, running an entire app requires a lot more cash flow than a plugin. So for better or worse, you basically just get what you pay for. Of course, we can still see how their features stack up. One thing that's missing from Bookly, which Calendly has to offer, is an activity dashboard. Having a central dashboard where you can check out all of the upcoming meetings seems too good to be true, but it's just part of Calendly's basic user interface. Don't expect to see something like this on Bookly though. It doesn't have nearly as advanced of a UI as Calendly, which can make it a lot more difficult to organize your schedule than it needs to be. However, both Calendly and Bookly have an API, so you have some rather complex integrations available if you know your stuff. This isn't something tech newbies would want to mess with, but in case you have a bit of know-how about integrating APIs into your website, you can choose either option and get a decent result. Bookly also has a few other nifty features like availability management. While Calendly offers this too, and it might sound like the bare minimum, you'd be surprised at how many basic platforms fail to meet the basic requirements. You can schedule your leave well in advance, and anyone that tries to contact you will be notified about when you'll be available next. Also, I should give credit where credit is due. Bookly has a slew of features that Calendly doesn't, like a client database, employee management, and reoccurring appointments. On top of that, you'll get a multi-location access and a client database. So this plugin is clearly primed for serious business owners. But do you want to know what Bookly doesn't have? A client portal. I can't stress just how essential something like this is because it allows your paying customers to keep track of your availability. Without it, you're going to have a pretty hard time automating the notification process. And considering that Calendly has it on offer, I'll have to dock half a point from Bookly's score. Also, Bookly doesn't give you any analytics, which is yet another thing that I found disappointing. Like, how am I supposed to keep track of my productivity if I don't get statistics and reports? For all of the great features that Bookly brings to the table, it fails in a few fundamental areas. which is why I can't give it a higher score than Calendly in this area. So I'm thinking Calendly gets another 4.5 for a total of 9, and Bookly gets a 4, which brings its total to 8.5. I'd have scored Bookly even lower, but honestly, it does give you at least some value for money, and if we factor in that low price, it might be unreasonable to expect much more. Now, how about customer service? This is a key area because it determines how easy it'll be for you to use the platform. No software is perfect, so you're bound to run into issues from time to time. The idea isn't to offer a flawless experience, but to give users a bunch of options to have their customer concerns addressed. In my view, both platforms do a decent job of offering customer support. For example, Calendly offers a digital help desk via its email support service, along with FAQs that answer a lot of the questions I had. There's a forum where other users can help each other out, and if all else fails, Calendly has a live chat service where you're guaranteed to find a solution to your problem. But with that said, Bookly has something Calendly doesn't: a live representative available 24 hours a day. That's great for people that need to troubleshoot technical issues and want a resolution as quickly as possible. In all fairness, Bookly doesn't have a chat option, so it's basically a matter of what type of customer service you prefer. I'm thinking both platforms get a 4 out of 5 here, which means Calendly has a 13 of 15, and Bookly hot at its heels with a 12.5. However, when it came time for the integration test, only one platform stood out. I'm talking about Calendly, and I doubt anyone that used it is surprised. I mean, Calendly's famous for its massive list of integration capabilities. You can add it to Google or Microsoft organizational systems like Google Calendar or Meet and Microsoft 365, not to mention Slack, WordPress, and Wix. We'll be here all day if I get into all the possible integrations, but my point is that Calendly gives you so many choices that you'll basically be set for life. As for Bookly, yeah, things aren't looking so great for it right now. You have Stripe, PayPal, and Google Calendar integrations for sure, but they're part of a very sparse list. Switching from Calendly to Bookly might be an absolute nightmare actually, because you'll have gotten used to a ton of integrations that you just can't live without anymore. Given all of this, Calendly gets a 5 out of 5 and Bookly gets a 3. That's the highest I could go, unfortunately, and it means that we have a clear winner. Yup, Calendly takes the top spot in this race. With a final score of 18 out of 20, Calendly showed time and time again that it's a platform worth using if time management is on your mind. The price is so low that it still amazes me. The features are impressive to say the least. And when you factor in all of the integration potential, you can see how it can create a seamless network of productivity, boosting and scheduling tools in your life. Bookly ended up with a 15.5 out of 20. That's not a terrible score, but it just goes to show that Calendly earned its crown. When the features are compared side by side, Bookly just doesn't hold a candle to Calendly. And that's just my opinion. But what do you think? Will you try either of these platforms out for yourself? Let me know what you think if you do. That's all for now, and I'll see y'all in the next one.